95% of the ocean has never been seen by human eyes, not explored, not mapped, not touched, just darkness crushing, silent, and ancient. And yet, in the little we have managed to reach, we have found things that should not exist. Creatures that produce their own light. Sounds that travel thousands of miles with no known source. Ecosystems that thrive without a single ray of sunlight. And at the very bottom, something that science still cannot fully explain. This is not a story about what we know. This is a story about what the deep ocean is hiding. Most people picture the ocean as something beautiful. Blue water, coral reefs, tropical fish. But that surface world, the part you can see, the part you can swim through, represents less than 5% of the total ocean. Below it, the water gets darker, the pressure gets heavier, the temperature drops toward freezing, and at around 200 meters below the surface, the last traces of sunlight disappear completely. Beyond that point, you enter a world that operates by entirely different rules. At 500 meters, the pressure is 50 times greater than at the surface. A human body unprotected would be crushed instantly. But life does not stop here, it adapts, and some of the adaptations are extraordinary. But this was only the beginning. In the 1970s, scientists sent a deep-sea submersible down to the Galapagos Rift, a volcanic crack in the ocean floor nearly 2.5 kilometers beneath the surface. What they expected to find was cold, empty rock. What they actually found shattered one of biology's most fundamental assumptions. Hydrothermal vents, towering chimneys of superheated water, blasting into the freezing ocean at temperatures exceeding 400 degrees Celsius. And surrounding them life, enormous tube worms, blind shrimp, ghostly white crabs, entire ecosystems thriving in complete darkness, surviving on chemical energy instead of sunlight. For the first time in history, scientists had found life that did not depend on the sun. Life that had evolved in total isolation, building its own chemistry, following its own rules. It forced a complete rethinking of where life can exist not just on Earth, but potentially on other worlds. What scientists discovered next was even stranger. In 1997, underwater microphones detected a sound. Not a normal sound, something massive. It lasted nearly a minute. It traveled thousands of kilometers across the Pacific Ocean. Scientists analyzed it, compared it to every known marine animal, and found nothing that matched. They gave it a name. They called it the bloop. For years, the bloop remained unexplained. Theories spread: a colossal unknown creature, a geological event, something stranger still. The ocean, it seemed, had a voice, and it was not interested in being understood. Years later, researchers linked the bloop to a phenomenon called icequake, massive sheets of ice fracturing beneath the Antarctic surface. But here is what is still unsettling: the scale of that sound was enormous. Larger than almost anything previously recorded in the ocean. And the deep sea, it turns out, is filled with sounds we still cannot identify. Yet something even more mysterious was hiding below. At the very deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, 11 kilometers beneath the surface, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level. It is darker than any darkness you can imagine. The temperature hovers just above freezing, and for a long time, scientists assumed nothing could survive there. They were wrong. When researchers finally sent instruments into the trench, they found life in extraordinary abundance. Amphipod small crustaceans swarming in massive colonies, microbial mats covering the seafloor. Single-celled organisms that had developed entirely new biological mechanisms to survive pressure that would obliterate any material humans have ever engineered. But the strangest discovery was this. Inside the bodies of creatures pulled from the deepest parts of the Mariana Trench, scientists found microplastics, human pollution. In the deepest, most remote place on Earth, a place no human had ever physically reached, the fingerprints of the surface world had already arrived, and then things became truly bizarre. Recent deep-sea expeditions have returned with footage that still challenges explanation. A living organism in the Ningaloo Canyons off the coast of Australia, a siphonophore stretching an estimated 47 meters in length. Potentially the longest creature ever recorded on Earth. Not a whale, not a giant squid, a colony of tiny connected organisms working together as a single entity, drifting silently through the dark water like a ghostly ribbon from another world. We had been searching for sea monsters in the wrong places. The deep ocean covers more surface area than all of Earth's land combined. It is older than most of the continents. It regulates the planet's temperature, generates oxygen, and absorbs carbon dioxide. It is, in the truest sense, the engine of the world, and we have explored less than 5% of it. What remains in the other 95%, what creatures are living there, what sounds are being made, what chemical processes are unfolding in the darkness, we do not know. The ocean is not just deep. It is deeper than we are prepared to understand. And somewhere in that darkness, something is waiting to be found. What do you think is still hiding in the deep ocean? Drop your theory in the comments. Because some of the real answers are stranger than any of us expect.